I'm just excited that we're going to see, I think, a new offense next year. I think it's going to be a new offense. I mean, it's going to be a lot of the same stuff, but why would you not incorporate new elements that you didn't have with Jimmy Garoppolo? You owe it to yourself and your players. So that's exciting. And we're seeing him do it. Like, okay, we didn't have this element before. We want to do the zone read. Let's get a real guard who can move people. Let's get a powerful running back who can run between the tackles. And the biggest quarterback, you see that he hit 21 miles an hour on a run? Like, wow. That's amazing, Trey Lance.
It is. The one thing with Lance, it's funny, is because when you watch him play, he doesn't really get out where he can actually let it loose, because the majority of the time he's having to run through people. But when the one time that I can remember where I saw him turn it loose was in the game first game you and I broke down in the championship game, when he dropped back and he took off right up the middle and then down the left sideline, and he looked like a deer running down the field.
Yeah, he's got that long stride that Kaepernick has, but he's so much more shifty, and he's got all the different gears. I mean, he's so good. Yes. He's so good. And what's interesting is, ideally, Kyle's not going to have to call that many passes for him. People are like, well, he didn't throw that much at North Dakota State. Well, on the Niners, ideally, he won't throw much here. There were games where Jimmy would throw 8 passes. If the Niners could do that, they would do it again. And Trey Lance, I'm going to get this messed up now. There's 2 Treys in the backfield. Trey Lance seems to be okay with an offense calling plays that way. He doesn't need to have a ton of passes.
Yeah, like you said, like if you go back to the Washington deal, they only he threw the ball with RG3 442 times in 15 games. That's only about 26, 27 times a game. That's far lower than what he's done the rest of the time. Because with the 49ers, the last 2 years, they've averaged almost 33 passes a game. So I don't know what 442 divided by 15 is, but I'm sure it's going to be about 16, 17.
Right.
Or 26, 27.
That would be good. But even RG3 had more experience coming into the league throwing than Lance. So I'm looking back at 04 Roethlisberger, which has nothing to do with Kyle and the 49ers, but it was the most successful rookie season, really, for a quarterback. He went 13-0. He threw 295 passes in 13 games. That's it. Yeah,
that sounds like what people who have been saying Trey Lance should start day one. That sounds like what they should be doing.
Yeah. It seems like if he's got the mental aptitude for it and he's athletic enough to, belong in the club and be on the field, great. Put him on the field. You don't have to throw that much. You got 8 different people who can run the ball on the team, the wide receivers, the tight ends, the running backs, the quarterbacks. I'm excited to see what this looks like. The offensive coordinator is the run game coordinator. Mike McDaniel is gone. Excuse me, Mike LaFleur is gone. Mike McDaniel has been elevated, and they may never pass the ball again.
Yeah. It's going to come out running I think it'd be the Nebraska version of the NFL.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be really cool. I have no idea what it's going to look like. Die Hard Niners 101 says, if the Packers called and asked for Trey Lance for Rodgers, would the Niners do it? Yes, you have to do that. I'm sorry. You might like Trey Lance, but you got to do that. It's Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm wrong. How do you say no to that? If it's 1-for-1?
Yeah, that would be a really tough one. And I think everything that we've talked about tonight, as far as like how this offense has changed for Trey Lance, would be totally fine if it was Aaron Rodgers under center. It would be
absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he has the ability to move around and do all these things.
Okay. Sorry for not taking your calls tonight. I'm really tired. I didn't sleep very well last night, and I want to go to bed so I can be fresh tomorrow for day 3. My favorite. Jack, thanks a lot. Anything else you want to talk about before we go? Because I'm out of stuff.
No, I'm just super excited.
The last one said
a whole lot going today.
Oh, sorry about that. The last one said to grade it. I don't really have any grades for day 2 off the top of my head. I might save that for like Sunday or Monday. Do you have any grades?
Yeah. I mean, I think today was an A. I think they. I'm just really excited with it. I really like the one that got me super excited. Obviously, was the sermon pick. That one got me jumping up and down. That's and then, funny. And I don't jump up and down very often. And then I looked at the Anthony Thomas one or Ambry Thomas. Sorry,
Ambry Thomas.
Going back and watching him just a little bit that I watched him on film. I think I'm going to watch more of it. But he definitely seems like a guy that can play and. Yeah, that's exciting. Watch. And Banks too. I mean, fun stuff. Let's give him an A. He's around.
Yeah. Sermon was the only pick that I was like, I like the player, but I don't like the pick because it's not a cornerback. And then 20 minutes later, they took a cornerback. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. I mean, you didn't get rid of the pick 102. You took, you moved back, you packaged stuff, you kind of created a spot at 88 and took a guy you liked, and then got the cornerback at 102 where I thought you were going to get the cornerback. So I couldn't really, at the time, I was like, that's a bad decision. And then when I saw it play out, I'm like, all right, well.
Oh, your mic's off.
My mic. Oh,
I can hear you now. I hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
No, we got you.
Like Darth Vader? Okay, sorry.
It stopped for a minute, but we got you.
All right, we're good.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah. Real quick before we go, Alexinho says, guys, do you think we use Trey like Taysom Hill this rookie season? That way he would gain experience without having to carry the team, basically. Maybe the first couple of weeks, just because you remember, if you're the head coach, you're thinking, how many reps do I need in practice and in preseason to get Trey ready? How many reps? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot. It really depends too if we get the preseason. If they have preseason, that could help speed things up.
Yeah, preseason is going to be really important.
But what his point is something that you've made a number of times though, Grant, with putting building packages for Lance, and especially early on. That's why not do it. Mm-hmm.
Now, I wasn't alive. You remember how did Bill Walsh bring Joe Montana along slowly? Was it a series here, a series there?
You know what? I was really too young when he first came around because I was only like 6 when I went. The first time I was like 6. But from what I understand, what I've heard was that it was basically he would bring Montana in points in 79 and 80 where he was going to be successful. So they might have driven the ball down the field, and then he'd put him into the game when they'd get down by the red zone and those kind of things. And that's how they used him to build him up and get him ready to go. And then,
i.e., like if the drive starts at your own 5-yard line, don't put him on the field.
Right.
You set him up for success. Be in the middle of the field. That way, if something bad happens, it's not like traumatic, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Right.
That's the way it was always explained to me, and kind of what I remember of that whole thing. Yeah.
I think if it worked for Joe Montana, it might work for Trey Lance. If he's not ready, that's a good way to get him on the field. And look, Kyle and Lynch have been adamant that they're not going to rush him. So he's going to have to earn it and show it. I'm excited to see it. I'll be there. Ryan says thoughts about Ambry Thomas. We talked about him. We haven't watched much of him. Jack's watched more than me, and he remembered that when Alabama faced him in the bowl game in 2019, they stayed away from him. So that tells you something. Yeah,
and those are some darn good defense, guys he was going up against, and they never tested him once. All the big plays were against the guy on the other side of the field.
He's guy on the other side of the field who didn't get drafted. That's his name. Guy on the other side of the field.
Oh man, you killed me.
Good effort, guy on the other side of the field. Jack, thanks for hopping on late night. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. This is great.
All right, thanks everyone. Sorry to psych you out with the no Cohn phone. I'll take all your calls tomorrow after day 3. Go to sleep. It's Friday night, or go do something fun. It's the NFL draft isn't that much fun. Although I don't know, man. Trey in the backfield, that's exciting stuff. I want to see it.
Yeah, they need to get one more Trey so they have a trifecta. Oh,
you were sitting on that? You waited till the very end to say that? Wow. That's great restraint. I love it, Jack. Thanks, everyone. Trifecta.